going to go that side so we what it is? We'll just like film it and then you can hear you then. Right. Sorry. You're not that.
Gary, I'm on your side.
A lot of you guys, right, have gone to the Two Rivers and Las Canas and the Marquee Estate, and you've seen loads of green fields. And then Dave says he's going to build these big, huge resorts, and you all say it's not going to happen. How does this happen, right? Well, this is how it happens, right? When you go to the Marquee Estate, Las Canas, Two Rivers, or Henry's Land, or wherever you go, right, you're seeing a green field. If I was to tell you that some of those sites, like maybe Henry's Land, would be ready for occupation in 8 months, you'd all probably laugh at me, correct? He'd say it's a physical impossibility. Well, this yard here is the only yard of its kind, right, outside of Iraq and Afghanistan. Right? There is no other yard of this kind. It's a simple technology, but there is no other place in the world that carries out this technology. Right? And what you're standing on now was poured last night, and in 3 hours' time will be lifted onto the apartment blocks. And you're standing on a complete floor of an apartment block that will be lifted and erected within 4 days of pouring. So we can do 57,000 square feet of floor area every 5 days, which means we can do a 5-story apartment block in 25 days. And in 1 month I can give him 5 days holidays.
He's a generous man as
well. How we do this is, if you were here last night, we had concrete trucks coming through the roads last night, right, pouring concrete here until about midnight. Now I'll explain to them how you do the whole thing.
This is the polystyrene bead.
This is a bead that we import, right? Small little bead, and we import tons and tons of it, and we put it into a giant popcorn machine, and this is what we get out.
Blow it up, yeah.
Right? And what we do with that is we mix it with cement. Bring a block next to and we're left with this. And this is an insulated block. Right? Feel the weight of it. Right? You make about 7,000-8,000 of these every few hours. Right? Do you know how these are cut? These are cut with a machete.
Really?
No. Can you get a machete and show the boys what's the shape of the block? Yeah. And just cut them with a machete. Simplest technology in the world. So the concrete trucks come in and we make these molds. There they are, ready for pouring tomorrow. Right? So they make the mold, they pour a bit of concrete in. Well, how thick? 2 inches thick. They lay this on top of the concrete, and then they pour another bit of concrete on top of that. They say that's simple. Right.
Coming back.
There's a couple of ingredients that we add to the mix. It's like Coca-Cola. We can't tell you how we do it. How much we do.
No, I don't even know.
Trade secret.
Yeah, trade secret. That's it.
We have a security guard called Basil. Basil.
It's been
So
passed
if anybody videos this, you take your camera.
It's been passed down by Paudie's grandmother, isn't it?
Yeah. So what happens is we're able to do a very rapid construction. The floors you're standing on are rocket-proof, they're bomb-proof, they're hurricane-proof, they're earthquake-proof. And they have been proven to be so in Afghanistan and Iraq. Right? It's the strongest building material that we know of at the moment for this type of building. Right? It's the safest as well. So
Is that just a mix of sand and cement, or
yeah. No, nice try, no banana. Right? There are other ingredients that go into it, right?
Yeah.
You're not giving us the full.
Yeah.
I'm on Gary's side.
So what it is that we're able to build, we're able to do a very efficient build process. Now we've got over 300 men on the site here, and with 300 men, if the hotel chain was to take occupation of the land at the end of December, we could have this resort open by then. That's the build. There's no constraint on our build, right? So the resort will be complete. What we'll have it done is shell and core done in the next 7 months. Most of the buildings will be done to shell and core in 7 or 8 months. Over there is the Spa Island. This field here. And I was saying, right, because this was a floodplain, it's down a little bit. So what we'll be doing after Christmas is bringing in some big heavy machinery, D6s and D8s, and we will be, for anyone who's environmentally friendly, right, we will be gently removing all the foliage and putting it to one side, right? So we'll be clearing the tracts of land, and then what we do for the quarries, we're going to take our quarry fills, and for 6 to 8 weeks we envisage we'll be taking in 10, 15,000 truckloads to raise the level up. So we have a water base a metre below us. Right? And that's the hardest part of the project. After that you will see the resort rising. So the resort itself should be at the tree line by the end of April. This tree line here.
Good God.
Right? We're going to have the spa villas. The first spa villas arrive in 2 weeks' time, right, for the show houses, right? And we put them together over here. The spa island we'll have created about March or April. Yeah, in April the spa island will be created here, and then we have a small problem, because it took me a long time to build these, and I kind of fell in love with these. So we'll probably build over here as well, and we'll keep this area. But by April we'll start the spa island, the spa villas on the far side of the spa island, right? So to give you a apartment block number, first one you see over there, number 2, that will be completely finished by the end of February, with a lift and all installed and working in it. Right, the third apartment block will be completed January, February 1. Yeah, say March the 17th, that will be fully completed. And then apartment block 4, 5 and 6, April, May and June respectively. So the resort will be complete up to here technically by June. All of the first 143 cabanas of the resort will be complete, except for the final fittings by December the 19th. Yeah, and landscape by January the 14th.
So come on the 15th and it'll be done. Yeah. Because Oasis have already lost a £10 bet, €10 bet, already. So if he says it, it'll be done.
And that's the same with the other resorts.
Yeah, and it's on film as well.
Pressure.
Yeah.
No pressure. You don't take pressure.
And the problem is, once we start, there's no time for changes. And you know, Dave's agents give us terrible grief because they say we need a photograph of a base, and by the time that check comes through, the roof is on. You know, and people think, you know,
how do you do it so quick?
Yeah, they think that Dave is up to no good, right? Yeah. You know, so the build is very quick. So the spa island's going over there with the spa villas, right? The rest of the resort will be finished in the tree line by January the 14th, isn't it? Yeah. So, and then we start up here with the back of house and the other locations that we have up here.
There's your machete there.
There's your Mary machete.
Right, do you want to shape a block? Show them how to shape a block.
Can you stand back, please?
Oh, sorry, Paudie. Just want to film that if we can.
Says you want.
That's it. They're like laid inside here. So, yeah, they're just laid in the middle of the cement. And that's why if you go in an apartment...
Some gift then, Dave?
Sorry?
Is it going to bend, is it?
Insulation.
I wouldn't say bend, but
insulation.
It's insulation. If you go in the units, you can't get them now in the apartments, it's actually cool in there. Even in this heat, if you go and stand in there, obviously you can't today because they're putting it up.
But even in the cabanas that people saying it's...
Our apartments don't need, the apartments don't need air conditioning.
Keeps the cool in the hot, so to speak, yeah.
In fact, in some of the apartments we're concerned that we may have to put a small bit of heating into them. Yeah.
That's that.
Right, what'll happen with the windows, we'll allow the heating with the windows. But if we were to put a wall up for those in the window, we would definitely have to heat them up in this temperature. People would find it too cold. They're like caves.
Well, in Dubai, which is a similar system to this, in the winter we have to put heating on because it's so cold in the desert.
Yeah, we were freezing in January.
We're freezing in January, actually freezing. They put heating on, and that's what this is. Simple as that.
But see, because we're on an island, people say, how do we do everything? Over behind you, that building there is a block pad where all the concrete blocks are made. Right?
It's all in
over
down.
those buildings over there, that's where they get the timber. The raw timber comes in from South America, and it comes out as handrails, balustrades, doors, windows. Anything you want just comes out the other end. So it's like a little factory. So you don't have the problems that people associate with building in a location. Somebody said, what about Los Canos and Two Rivers or the Marquis Estate? How are you going to build there? Very easily, you bring the mountain to Muhammad. Simple. You look at the problem and you look at it very simply and you say, right, we can't get in there from one side, so we'll just set everything up inside there. Right? And in fact, it's been so successful, we get people coming down here all the time trying to buy stuff. That wasn't the intention. Right?
Even the government of St Lucia. One into built
Well, we had the Prime Minister of St. Lucia over here a couple of days ago.
Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah,
He rang me up in my garden, with my ducks.
And we get quite a number of the government officials from around the islands coming down here now because they really want this to happen elsewhere, right? Because for them, in St. Lucia, Antigua, you know, even Grenada, even the smaller islands, they see how it works, right? And they see how effectively it can be built. I'm not telling you how much we build it for, but right, and the process is really fast and simple. And all of the guys, any of the guys you'll meet here, really enjoy the work, really enjoy the resort. And the funny thing about it is these people want the resort to work, right? So they're putting their heart and soul into it. We work an average of 19, 20 hours a day, right? So,
You think he's joking?
Same as agents.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
we do an average of 8,000 man hours a day here. 8 to 10,000 man hours a day worked on this side.
I bet you don't tell him he's cut it the wrong size after 90 hours.
You want to see his protection people?
Right, so that's 70,000 man hours a week.
Paudie, when I was at Marquee, a few people doubted the fact that we could build that resort in 5 years.
The problem, well, I keep telling Dave, the problem is he's trying to say I need it in 5 years, and we're saying, come on, Dave, let us do it in 2.5. That's the way we are, right? Dave is guided by the hotel operator saying, okay, I need to open on a specific date. I rang Dave 2 weeks ago and I said, Dave, can we please open up 143 cabanas and have them completely ready on the 1st of March here? And he said, I'd love to, but I got the problem with the hotel. So we're just Dave's guided by the hotel operators. The Marquee estate will be fully complete in 5 years, right? And we've achieved virtually 143 builds in 9 weeks, right? So, you know, 5 years, how many is that? Right? And we will be proving it. We'll also be putting on a live webcast link to the Harlequin resort to show the construction, right? Where you'll have cameras, where you'll be able to link directly onto the website and for yourselves see the pace of construction. And therefore that will take away from any of the detractors out there. Because a lot of people, for some reason, they'll come again, you come again in February and go wow, and you come again in March or April and you go wow, but there'll still be people there that won't believe it, right? So I can't do anything about that. All I know is we do it, right? And it's working, you know? And it's important. All the local guys support it, everybody else support it. It needs, you know, you need to believe in it. Right? And you need to believe in all the other resorts that are going to be built, because they are going to be built. And I'm going to build them.
And if you want to go against him, you try it. He's the man.
Guys,
2015, you're all invited to Patrick's Day party in Two Rivers. I'm paying for the first beer.
Only one? Cool. I'll get traded because to play the first round.
Sterling's gone way down, man.
Yeah.
guys, before we move on, I just want to say one thing, if I could, off the cameras, if that's all right.